Just then, Evelyn's mother charged at me and spun me around and began pushing my chair out of her house and towards the busy street. I only managed to engage the emergency brake just in time to avoid being pushed into traffic. As a result, Evelyn's mother lost her footing and slammed down hard onto the sidewalk. As she got up, she made a move to grab my chair and try to tip it, and so I slapped her as hard as I could to make her back away. Once she did, I turned the brake off and got out of there as quickly as I could. Hi there, my name is Curtis, and I have quite the story to share with you. It's quite the ride actually, and involves quite a bit of drama, although I really wish that that wasn't the case. At any rate, my story begins just after college. I had just graduated from law school and was looking to find a firm that would hire me. Thankfully, my good grades had already gotten me some attention from a few firms, and I was trying to decide which one to work for when I saw the most beautiful woman I had ever seen in a coffee shop. I knew that I had to introduce myself, and so I went over and said hi and told her my name. At first, she was a bit hesitant to speak with me, but I put the charm on, and within a few minutes, she was laughing, and we were making plans to go out on a date. She told me her name was Evelyn, and that she had just graduated from medical school and was on the fast track to becoming a surgeon. I found this fascinating, of course, and I knew that she and I would make for a great pair. I was of course worried that she would stand me up though. After all, I can be pretty charming, but there is a major catch. You see, not everyone can get past the fact that I'm in a wheelchair. Sadly, I was born with a rare condition that made my legs useless. I still have feeling in them, but sadly, I will never be able to walk. But I have come to terms with it, and I have never let it hold me back. But it is a hard thing for most people to accept. So when Evelyn showed up, and we ended up having a lovely time, I was beyond happy. The next few months were wonderful. We went on dates and really got to know one another. I was so happy that she was incredibly intelligent and had a great sense of humor too. We were madly in love, but then it came time to introduce each other to the other's family. Mine was very welcoming and accepted Evelyn with open arms, but Evelyn's side did not go so well. Her father had left her mother and Evelyn when she was very young, and Evelyn had told me that her mother had hated men ever since, but something told me that she didn't care for me because of other reasons.
Hello, Mother. This is Curtis.
This is Curtis? Are you sure you didn't leave half of him outside?
Mother.
Oh, it's okay, Evelyn. Your mother just has a very good sense of humor. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, it was just a bad joke. Nice to meet you, Kurt.
I of course knew that it wasn't a joke, and that she very clearly didn't like me very much. The fact that she shortened my name from 2 syllables to 1 only reinforced the fact that she hated me. I tried not to take it personally, but I knew that it probably had something to do with my being in a wheelchair. Perhaps she hated all men, but she especially hated me. Over the next few years, Evelyn's mother would constantly ask her if she was still dating Wheels. It was a derogatory nickname that she had given me. Although she never said it to my face, she always used it over the phone when she spoke with Evelyn. As annoying as she was, I chose to ignore her. After all, I was in love with Evelyn and not her mother. So while it bothered me that she hated me so much, I knew that it didn't really matter since Evelyn and I were in love and were making plans to get married once she finished her residency. Around the same time, I was being offered a position as a junior partner in the law firm that I worked for. Things were really looking up for us. At least they were until Evelyn began working more chaotic hours at the hospital. Her shifts were longer than they used to be, and she was always tired when she was home. I felt sympathy for her because it looked as though they were working her to the bone. I was incredibly worried for her, and I wanted her to take a step back before she burned herself out, but she wouldn't listen. My love, you need to remember that you are only human, and if you keep going like this, you'll burn out.
It's okay. I can handle it.
Evelyn, you're working too hard. You need to rest more.
Work? Oh, yes. I know, but I need to put in my time until I get a full-time position. I just need you to be patient.
I can be patient, but I hate seeing you burning the candle at both ends like this. I was so worried about Evelyn, and when she started to get thinner than she already was, and began to have dark circles around her eyes all the time, I knew that something wasn't right. I tried to go to her mother to tell her that I needed her help to convince Evelyn that she needed to slow down and prioritize her health, but she was no use. Something is wrong, and she needs us to support her. Please, I need you to help convince her to slow down. She is passionate about her job, but if she keeps going like this, she will kill herself.
Hardly. All she needs to drop the dead weight. That dead weight being you. My daughter's going to really make something of herself, and she doesn't need to date someone as disgusting as you. I doubt that you could even give me a grandchild. I bet nothing below the waist works on you. Honestly, I don't know why Evelyn would ever date some cripple.
Can you be sensible for 1 minute? Your daughter needs you, and all you can think about is how much you hate me. Forget about me for a minute, and just focus on the fact that your daughter needs your help. Just then, Evelyn's mother charged at me and spun me around, and began pushing my chair out of her house and towards the busy street. I only managed to engage the emergency brake just in time to avoid being pushed into traffic. As a result, Evelyn's mother lost her footing and slammed down hard onto the sidewalk. As she got up, she made a move to grab my chair and try to tip it, and so I slapped her as hard as I could to make her back away. Once she did, I turned the brake off and got out of there as quickly as I could. The next day, I woke up to the sounds of breaking glass. I raced outside and saw Evelyn throwing rocks through the windows of my car. What are you doing?
What does it look like? I'm making you suffer for attacking my mother. How dare you try to rape her?
What are you talking about? I went to see her to get her to help you. You've been acting very chaotic lately, and I'm really worried about you. That's all.
Oh yeah? Is that why she has a black eye and fat lip and scrapes all over her body? You disgust me.
That isn't what happened. Your mother attacked me and tried to push me into traffic. I was just defending myself. Just then, Evelyn threw a rag soaked in lighter fluid that was on fire into my car. Within seconds, the whole thing was engulfed in flames.
I don't believe you, and I can't imagine why I was ever attracted to a cripple like you. My mother was right. You're barely half a man.
Yeah. She left before the fire department arrived, and even they arrived too late to save my car. It was a custom-built one too that was made specifically for me, so that I could drive. I could not believe what had happened. Evelyn had let her mom turn her against me, and over something that I didn't even do. Part of me was still in love with her, but at the same time, I wanted nothing to do with her. Instead, I reached out to her friends and begged them to get help for her, but Evelyn's mother had poisoned their opinions of me as well. More than a few told me that they were glad that Evelyn had been cheating on me now, knowing that I was a monster that would attack Evelyn's mother. They would not believe me when I tried to tell them the truth. In the end, I sued Evelyn and had her charged with the destruction of my property. The court awarded me $32,000 in damages, which helped me to replace the car she had destroyed, but the only other punishment they gave her was dozens of hours of community service. It was a slap on the wrist, really, but I didn't care. I was no longer tied down to her, and that was enough to make me feel some relief. That is, until a few years later, when a client approached me and wanted to sue Evelyn for medical malpractice. As it turned out, the man that Evelyn had cheated on me with had introduced her to drugs, and she got hooked. It was the real reason that she was always tired and looked like death warmed over. Well, her addiction affected her job, and she was making constant mistakes and nearly cost my client their life as a result. We ended up suing her for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and she ended up losing her license as a result. After that, her life took a huge turn for the worse. Without a job to pay for her addiction, her and her boyfriend ended up stealing in order to get money to buy drugs. It didn't take long for them to get arrested and sent to prison. After that, she was in and out of jail for years before I finally lost track of her. As for her mother, the stress of her daughter being in and out of jail caused her to have a stroke which left her severely paralyzed. She lost all function on the left side of her body and was confined to a wheelchair. One day while out shopping, I happened to see her in the same shop. I could tell that she was hoping that I wouldn't notice her, and her eyes bulged out of their sockets when she saw that I noticed her and made my way over to her. I could see that she was terrified, and I relished that fact. All I did was lean over towards her. "Good to see you out and about." Wheels. Then I smiled and winked and left her there stunned and in shock. I was just happy to have dodged a bullet. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below saying I subscribed, and we will try our best to reply to your comment. However, one morning, 2 months later, I suddenly heard a loud scream from her apartment that jolted me out of sleep. "Help me!" she continuously screamed. I was going to ignore it, but I just couldn't. I found myself running out of my apartment and going straight to hers. I met quite a crowd gathered there. I asked what happened, and someone explained that the lady had an abusive boyfriend who usually beat her up like that, and he was doing it again. I quickly rushed to her door, and with all my strength, I broke the door and walked in on her getting beaten up. I pulled the guy off her and threw him to the floor. I pounced on him and gave him a few punches. As I tried to help her up, she pushed me away.
Don't you dare touch me with those filthy hands of yours.
I was taken aback. I just saved her. Before I knew it, a cop walked in. "What's going on here?" The lady, rather than tell the truth, told the cops that I'd suddenly broke into her house and attacked her and her boyfriend. I was shocked. I turned to the police and tried to explain that it was a lie, and I'd come in to save her, but he shut me up with a slap, shocking me even more. Hey there. My name's Frederick, and I'm black. Before relocating to the States, I'd heard stories about some racists, but I held on to the belief that I wouldn't be a victim if I was peaceful and easygoing. I relocated over 5 years ago and didn't encounter any racist until I moved into a new area. The former place I was at needed to be renovated, so I had to move. Unlike my previous place where I had quite a lot of fellow blacks there, the new place was mostly dominated by whites. I had a white neighbor who was unmarried. She had a friendly appearance, so I contemplated on speaking to her for quite a while before I eventually mustered courage to do so. The opportunity came when we both got out to empty our bin at the same time. I turned to her with a smile. "Hello? Is the day going well?" I started that way, as it was usually how I struck conversations with people. However, she cast a gaze that seemed to be one of disgust. Her facial expression seemed as though she'd just seen a rotten wound.
Excuse me? How dare you ask me that? Are you planning to start stalking me or something?
I was surprised. How did it get to that direction? Stalking? Never. I can't do that. I simply wanted to know if you're having a good day.
I don't see how that's any of your business. Do you not know how to be quiet? Is that how you black people are? Trying to get into other people's businesses without permission?
I stood in shock, unable to form any reasonable word. She was saying too much for a simple question. I apologize if you think I'm trying to intrude into your privacy. However, that wasn't my intention in any way. I simply wanted to know if you're having a good day.
Oh, please. If I say I'm having a good day, do you plan to make it a bad day for me? Huh? I've heard how troublesome y'all Africans are. Don't you dare bring that to me, else I'll report you to the cops. Got it, idiot?
Idiot? Excuse me, you're being too disrespectful now. I already apologized for asking that question, since it seemed like it offended you, so you don't have to insult me.
Don't you deserve to be insulted? Y'all blacks are nothing but garbage bags. If you dare look in my direction again, I swear I'm gonna report you for stalking.
I watched as she turned and stormed off afterward. I was truly shocked. I just gotten my first taste of how it feels to be hated on by a white. It was so surprising because her words were completely uncalled for. I turned and headed back to my apartment, feeling so bad and embarrassed. I called a friend and told her about it, and she warned me against ever speaking to the lady. I wasn't even going to anymore, but it was just so surprising. The next day, on my way out to work, I bumped into the lady. She let out a shrill cry and moved away, cleaning her skin like she'd just been smeared with poo.
How dare you touch me with your black skin?
What? It's not like I intentionally bumped into you. Why are you being this way, miss?
Yes, you knowingly bumped into me? What? You've never had the opportunity to touch a white before and you think I'm that person?
My anger was boiling within me. What did she take me for? She was treating me so condescending, and it was getting on my nerves. However, I was running late for work, and also didn't want to argue with her that morning. For the sake of peace, I'm going to apologize. I'm sorry for bumping into you. I hope you have a good day. You'd have thought it ended there, but it didn't.
What's with you and my day? Are you trying to get me to have a bad day? Huh? Is that common among you Africans?
If you'll excuse me, I have to leave now.
No, I'm going to go out first before you do. That's how it is. We whites must always be in front of you stupid blacks. Get lost, monkey.
Her words were so offensive, but I managed to keep my cool. I moved away to allow her pass without her skin having to touch mine, as I was against another round of insult. After she left, I walked out. On another day, One of the ladies in the neighborhood asked me to help watch over her child, while she quickly got something at a nearby store. I agreed. While watching the little girl, I decided to engage her in a conversation. Then, my neighbor was walking by and saw us. She hurriedly grabbed the girl from me and began yelling for help. A policeman nearby rushed to us, and my neighbor lied that I was trying to kidnap the girl. I tried to explain to the man the real reason I was with the child, but my neighbor refused to allow me to speak and requested my arrest. Luckily, the child's mother arrived just in time and cleared the situation. The officer reprimanded my neighbor and warned her against such false accusations next time. 2 weeks passed, and I steadily avoided any interaction with her. Even when we had to empty our bins, I made sure she wasn't anywhere around before I did so. I was on a work break for 3 days, and on the second day, I decided to clean the whole surrounding. I got the equipment and set out to work. Now, by surrounding, it included my neighbor's area. I sincerely didn't want to clean it because I was still angry over what she did the last time, but it wouldn't look neat if I only did my part and left hers. I wasn't a wicked person. I knew she wouldn't appreciate it, so I did the cleaning without expecting any form of appreciation from her. Later that night, while cooking, I heard my doorbell ring. I wondered who it was because I wasn't expecting any friends. My thoughts went to my neighbor, and a small smile tugged at my lips, thinking she was coming to thank me. As I opened the door, I screamed as a full bucket of ice water was thrown on me. Cleaning my eyes, I was met by the death stare of my neighbor. "What's wrong with you, lady?"
How dare you? Did I ask you to clean my yard with your black tools? Huh? Did I beg you? By the way, one of my phones is missing. I just hope is not what I'm thinking.
"Excuse me, I didn't clean your yard. I simply cleaned the front, which is connected to mine. Also, I don't know anything about your phone. This is not nice."
Not nice? Cool. I dare you to ever try coming close to me again. The next time you cross my path, I'm going to the police. Dare me.
She stormed off after the threat, leaving me purely shocked. I was embarrassed, angry, surprised, and confused. Had I done something bad by cleaning a dirty place? After changing into fresh clothes and cleaning the ice and water that had kissed the floor, I returned to cooking. Over dinner, I was on a video call with my friend, telling him about what had happened with the lady. He blamed me for being too nice and told me to stay completely away from her. But the area was dirty. It would look somehow if I'd only cleaned my part and left hers.
It doesn't matter. Those kinds of people would rather have their surroundings filled with dirt than have a black person clean it up.
I learned my lesson for the third time. I made up my mind to never get involved with anything relating to her. The next time I clean Ed, it was only my part. I carefully avoided her part, even though I was tempted to clean the place, seeing how dirty it was. At night, I heard her doing the cleaning, and I was glad I didn't succumb to the temptation earlier. Life continued like that, with me ignoring her total existence, and her doing the same. However, one morning, 2 months later, I suddenly heard a loud scream from her apartment that jolted me out of sleep. "Help me!" she continuously screamed. I was going to ignore it, but I just couldn't. I found myself running out of my apartment and going straight to hers. I met quite a crowd gathered there. I asked what happened, and someone explained that the lady had an abusive boyfriend who usually beat her up like that, and he was doing it again. I quickly rushed to her door, and with all my strength, I broke the door and walked in on her getting beaten up. I pulled the guy off her and threw him to the floor. I pounced on him and gave him a few punches. As I tried to help her up, she pushed me away.
Don't you dare touch me with those filthy hands of yours.
I was taken aback. I'd just saved her. Before I knew it, a cop walked in.
What's going on here?
The lady, rather than tell the truth, told the cops that I'd suddenly broke into her house and attacked her and her boyfriend. I was shocked. I turned to the police and tried to explain that it was a lie, and I'd come in to save her, but he shut me up with a slap, shocking me even more.
You blacks are nothing but nuisances. I'm arresting you.
No matter how much I tried to oppose, he wasn't having any of it. He cuffed my hands and led me out of the apartment. My neighbor and her boyfriend followed him. The people around tried to explain to him, but he refused to listen to them. I was led to the station where my neighbor and her boyfriend gave false statements about the whole issue. The cop instantly locked me up and refused me to call anyone. I knew I was doomed, as I couldn't reach my friends, and I thought none of those present would step up for me. Every day, the cop would come in and torture me in the cell while calling me every vile name he could think of, ranging from ape to African monkey, etc. I spent a week there before another white cop helped me with a phone. According to him, he suspected I was taken unfairly, as he knew how much his colleague hated blacks. I explained what had happened to him, and he gave me his phone. I called my friends and asked for help. My friends swung into action immediately. They went to my neighborhood and found those who were present. Luckily, they weren't racists and even accepted to stand as witnesses. My friends filed a case against the unjust cop, my neighbor, and her boyfriend. They were found guilty as charged after my other neighbors gave their statements. 2 had even recorded everything, which helped even more. The cop got 1 year imprisonment and had his badge and title stripped off of him for false imprisonment, violation of civil rights, and physical abuse for slapping me. My neighbor was guilty of a hate crime and a false report to authorities. She got a 2-year jail term and was made to pay a $5,000 fine to me. Her boyfriend was also jailed for physical abuse and got 5 years. Once all that was over, I thanked everyone who had helped me and got another apartment in my former neighborhood. It was peaceful there, and I needed peace. Even though the few whites there weren't racist, the trauma from my neighbor made me stay away from them. Meanwhile, barely 1 year later, I heard my neighbor harassed 3 black prisoners by taking their food and forcing them to bow to her. She was caught and got transferred to a higher prison, where she got 6 extra months. This might sound evil, but I do want her to get more jail term and spend over half of her life there. Perhaps she'd learn her lesson that way. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below saying I subscribed, and we will try our best to reply to your comment.